Delaney and Bonnie, coming home from the album D&B Together. Our guest this morning on our KUTX South by Wrap-Up show is the great Bobby Whitlock, who played with Delaney and Bonnie, and George Harrison, and Derek and the Dominoes, and Coco Carmel, and so many others. And this is Jody Denberg with David Fricke and Bobby Whitlock. And David, that Delaney and Bonnie stuff sounds like it could have been recorded yesterday.
And that's Eric Clapton on guitar. So Eric was in that orbit and clearly rejuvenated as an artist himself when he started, he was coming out of Cream, he was coming out of so much, other stuff, not really certain what he wanted to be. He was a superstar, but being a superstar doesn't really tell you the path that you need to be as a creative musician. And I think that, and I'm hoping Bobby can explain this, is, how, someone like Eric, who clearly had enormous stature, what was he learning from, from playing with you and Delaney and Bonnie, and what was he getting out of that you could see? Well,
as you were saying, it just dawned on me. I said, well, Eric hadn't even found the guitar he wanted. He didn't even start playing Stratocaster until, he got with Derek and the Dominoes. Till we did that. I remember,
like the Les Paul and all that.
Yeah, he would go on the road. And when we went on the road with the Dominoes, it was just one Stratocaster. He brought Brownie and Les Paul. That was it, and he carried the guitar. But with Delaney and Bonnie, it wasn't so much how to sing, because Eric could already sing, but Eric wanted to sing from that place where Delaney was singing from, and
he sort of wanted to get to know the South in a way that was more profound than just covering Robert Johnson.
Yeah. He wanted that to be real for him, His diving into the lifestyle he chose to do, that was planned out. That wasn't an accident that he started drinking and drugging. He planned all that out. He talked to me about it, because all of the ones that he loved, his peers that he loved, they were all drunks and junkies, and he was this pampered guy, from England, from Ripley, so he didn't know what the blues was about, and that was how he could figure he'd get himself down there and to play the blues.
But what about George Harrison, who also joined that tour in December of '69?
He needed a break. He needed
a break from the Beatles.
He needed a good shot of rock and roll, R&R, and we were the only rock and roll, gospel, rhythm and blues that there was. White Act out there on the road, man. We had Billy Preston playing piano with us.
Dave Mason was on the tour.
Yeah, Dave Mason was with us. And when we did the live tour, we had Jim Gordon on drums, Carl Radel, Delaney on guitar, Bonnie, and me singing. I was playing organ, Billy Preston on piano, Bobby Keys and Jim Price on the horns, and then we had Eric Clapton, George Harrison, and Dave Mason as our other three guitar players. That band moved fixed stages. It was amazing, and I still marvel at that I was a part of all of that. An integral part is an important role I played in all these things that I did. But I never look back on it, because I've never looked back until I've reached this great place in my life where I can look back. I've got something to look back at and listen to. I never listened to all of my old records or anything. I'm just now starting to go back and go through them.
Well, when you listen to something from, say, All Things Must Pass now, what do you recall of that transition? Because to go from something like Delaney and Bonnie, which is very Southern, very raucous, it's the kind of church that is like the church is on fire, and you go to All Things Must Pass. George is almost, I don't want to say quieter man, but much more spiritual, and really looking at things from that Indian perspective of, trying to find an inner peace, whereas, Delaney and Bonnie was like, let's burn the place down.
Oh yeah, for sure. Television's out the window.
George Harrison wasn't throwing televisions out.
I'll tell you what, when we did pick him up, we picked him up at his house in Esher, and we were all in a bus. Well, I'm telling you, they were rocking and rolling, and you just got to imagine, as soon as they became superstars, as soon as the wheels touched down in Heathrow, But when we picked up George, he needed a break from the Beatles and all of that breakup that they were going through and all that turmoil. we picked him up, and when he walked on the bus, he carried an
aura,
a
yes,
peace around everywhere he went. And suddenly, man, those egos were just, you could hear the rug being ripped out from under Delaney and Bonnie's feet, you know? And the whole thing suddenly took shape, you know, it really did. I mean, everybody was really paying attention, really focused, man, because we had a Beatle on the bus and then the band, you know? But with George, as I said, his music was like a soft rock and roll. And so when he asked Eric and me to put the band together, he called one day afternoon out at Hurtwood, asked Eric and I to put a band together to be the core band for the album. And I was thinking about, because he had played me songs and stuff. I spent some time out there at Friar Park with him. And he played me all the songs before we recorded them. And I thought it was acoustic rock, you know. And so I chose to play a pump organ. Nobody knew how to play it, you know, a pump organ. I was at one point, the only rock and roll and rhythm and blues and gospel that there was, influence that there was in the whole country of Great Britain was me, standing in wherever I was. There wasn't everybody else had gone back to America. I was over there by myself, you know.
But it's interesting because by playing the pump organ, that was an instrument that actually suited the way Phil Spector then built that whole chapel of sound around those songs.
But there's some of that. There's on Try Some, Buy Some, which came out on Live in a Material World. There's a melody line that goes, and he's got a huge chorus of mandolins playing that. Well, that was really that's just the organ organ movement through there. So it's free reign of what to do and what to play. First time I ever played piano that was recorded that I knew about was on Beware of Darkness. And the very first thing was Johnny's birthday. Because I was an organ player, and an organ and piano is two different instruments altogether. That's different. It's like violin and banjo, you know. But I'm sorry, I did runaway train here with my.
Your train makes all the stops.
But
Cool.
George needed what we were doing.
Yeah.
We needed George as much as he needed us, you know. And Eric needed that all this roots stuff. He needed some kind of foundation to come from.
And it also brought the speed down and the intensity of that tour that you did, the English tour that's on tour with Eric Clapton, that live album.
Yeah.
But then you turn around to All Things Must Pass, and it is more interior looking. And I think that takes American gospel, blues, and soul and brings it into a very personal place that you can share, that you were able to share with Eric and George.
And on the album All Things Must Pass, the individual credits are not delineated for every song, but Bobby has, over the last few years, given us who plays exactly what on what songs. As you mentioned, Bobby, George got you and Eric to put this band together for All Things Must Pass. I want to play a song called Let It Down. What's your contribution on this song?
I'm playing B3 on it and singing background. Eric and I are doing the only backgrounds on this particular one. But I'm playing B3. When we first did the song, it was just this beautiful acoustic song. And I said, man, you gotta kick this one down somewhere, man. So when we get to the chorus, why don't we just kick it down, you know, rather than all that kind of soft, let it down. No, let's kick it down. That's what we did.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, this is shit I want to know. You know.
So
ask him what I want to know.
Let's play a Derek and the Dominoes song next, and we should play one from Layla. The Fillmore songs are really long, but let's go to Layla. We'll have time and your call.
That's great.
Yeah. Because actually, that's a song that Derek and Susan play all the time now.
Yeah.
I got Bobby up there, and they did it together.
Really?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.